Hello and welcome to Agile Outcomes. I often get the question, hey Daniel, we'd love to be Agile, but you see we've got these fixed dates and the scope can't change and the resources are locked in. This is it. This is the plan. We just have to execute it. Well, if you found yourself having this difficult conversation, then this lesson is for you. Hello. Let's say you're an engineering manager or perhaps a project or portfolio manager. You're probably thinking about dates, aren't you? Deliverables, scope, whether resources are available. If so, this session's for you. You see, there's a question, and that is, how can we be agile when we have a fixed scope, we have a schedule that can't budge, and of course, resources are precious? This is otherwise known as the iron triangle. For example, let's say there's a desire to increase scope, perhaps even at the last minute. Got to get that feature in before we ship. Well, that's going to draw out the schedule, right? It's going to push dates out. Or if that's unacceptable, then we have the resources. Possibly we can add resources, right? Oh, if we can just get 5 more people on this. We have a group that can, really help us out in a pinch. Okay. So you're assuming that they have the same skill sets, probably very specific technology capabilities at their disposal, as well as availability, as well as knowledge of your specific context, the domain you work in. Will they be ready next week to help you out? So another challenge, right? That's why this is so difficult. So let's say, okay, maybe by some miracle, you were able to keep scope fixed. You're still on schedule, at least you think you are. But what if stuff happens? What if the supply chain gets bogged down and the parts or the library systems that you had purchased are not available? Or what if the solution you're developing is just more complicated than at first thought? Stuff happens. So your schedule is getting under intense pressure, and that April date slips into May and perhaps even June. What then? Is there a better way? Do we have to live and die by this iron triangle? What if, just what if the geometry changed? Let's say instead of sides of a triangle, these became intervals. All else remains constant. You still have the schedule, resources, and scope like we did before. Let's take a deeper look at this. Take schedule, for example. What is schedule? It's a series of dates across months. Now, the thing is that these dates, take the 28th, for example, highlighted here. They look precise. We'll have it delivered on the 28th. It's so precise, it inspires confidence. But what happens when the date slips? Now it's no longer April 28th, it's June 28th. There seems to be a violation. I don't understand. You promised. Making a promise on a date far out to the future is risky. It's based on preliminary knowledge, probably not the learnings and the discoveries that happen along the way, right? Because it's too early to know what exactly those will be. So it's just that. Is there a better way than promising dates? What if there were multiple chances to deliver every single month? Highlighted here in green. Now, we all know that stuff happens, right? But we have multiple delivery opportunities here, 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 and here. So thinking along those lines, what if we changed the notion of schedule to delivery cycles? And in fact, your delivery cycles are just those circled dates on the calendar. So they all correspond to one of the intervals that we just discussed earlier. So now we've changed the notion of schedule to delivery cycles. Let's go on to the second side of the triangle, resources. So for resources, these are the people that are going to own and deliver on the scope. So we want obviously the competency that's necessary to do the work. We want a group of people who will gel together and work well together. Obviously, take ownership of the request and deliver on it. And then at some point, they need to get really high performing, right? We want a well-oiled, smooth running machine. Now, once these are all checked off, you've got something special. And it didn't come in just a day or a matter of weeks. This took time. And because of this, I would argue we're probably not talking about resources. This is not some large generic resource pool. What you've done here is you've developed something special called a team, or in often cases, multiple teams. Teams are therefore long-lived. It takes quite a while to develop the talent, the mentoring, the openness and transparency and the teamwork, and to build all this and become a high-performing team takes time. So teams are long-lived. So that's the other change, the iron triangle, is we've gone from resources to teams. Now for the third side of the triangle, scope. Now scope can take the form of several things. It could be new capabilities that your solutions don't even have today, or it could be extensions or enhancements of existing capabilities, or could very well be bug fixes. Could be things that either customers have discovered or the company's discovered internally and would not like the customers to discover. So those are all part of scope. Now, how does this take place? When will these scope items be delivered? Well, lay out the intervals like we saw earlier, and then you chunk out the work. So in the case of capabilities, those are much larger. Those are large initiatives that won't fit within a single interval. So they need to be broken up into chunks, pieces that will fit into an interval. And then same so forth with the enhancements and the bug fixes. Now, once you have these pieced out and slotted into the intervals, you've got your deliverables. So deliverable 1, deliverable 2, consisting of a mix of capabilities, enhancements, and bug fixes. There you have it. That's how you address scope in Agile. So we've gone from the iron triangle to our new geometry, which is the intervals complete with delivery cycles and teams and scope. That's it. Now you know what to say when someone asks, "Hey, Daniel, how can we be agile when we've got this iron triangle?" This has been Agile Outcomes. I'm your host, Daniel Spencer.